Hello everyone. Today we address a critical shift in the digital landscape, the rise of Google's new data governance model. As indicated by our title, Consent Mode Becomes King, we are moving into an era where privacy-first measurement is no longer optional. Consent Mode V2 has transitioned from a recommendation to a mandatory requirement. This session will explore how this change directly impacts your measurement accuracy, your automated bidding strategies, and ultimately, your overall campaign performance. We will navigate the transition from traditional tracking to a sophisticated model that respects user privacy while maintaining data integrity for marketers. Let us begin. To understand why we are here, we must look at the timeline of data privacy. The journey began in 2018 with the enforcement of GDPR, making cookie consent a legal pillar in the EU. In 2020, Google introduced Consent Mode V1 to allow tags to fire without storing identifying data. By 2022, GA4 became the mandatory standard. Now, in 2024, we have reached the V2 deadline. For advertisers targeting the European Economic Area, this is non-negotiable. Regulators have tightened the rules, and Google has moved the goalposts. Failure to implement V2 means flying blind. Non-compliant accounts will lose the critical smart bidding signals necessary for modern performance marketing. What exactly has changed in the transition to version 2? Consent Mode V1 relied on two core parameters, AdStostra for advertising cookies and AnalyticsStostra for GA4 tags. Version 2 introduces two additional required parameters, Add User Data and Ad Personalization. The first controls the transmission of user data to Google for personalization services like Customer Match, while the second specifically manages remarketing capabilities. Without both of these new parameters being correctly implemented and signaled, Google systems cannot effectively model conversions for users who decline consent. This structural update is the foundation upon which all future Google Ads measurement will be built, ensuring compliance across all touchpoints. Let's examine the mechanics of how consent mode fills the data gap. When a user declines cookies via your consent management platform, the process follows four distinct steps. First, the refusal is registered. Second, tags continue to fire in a cookieless state, meaning they do not store identifying markers. Third, anonymized and aggregated pings are sent to Google. These pings contain no personal data but retain behavioral signals. Finally, Google's AI uses these signals to estimate likely conversions based on patterns observed from consenting users. Without this mechanism, you receive zero signals from non-consenting users. With it, you regain a modeled signal that feeds and optimizes your smart bidding strategies. The consequences of ignoring Consent Mode V2 are severe and go far beyond simple legal compliance. First, you face signal starvation. Your smart bidding will train on an incomplete dataset, leading to biased bids. Second, you will experience audience shrinkage as remarketing lists for the EEA will only include the minority of users who opt in. Third, match rate collapse occurs because you cannot upload data to Customer Match without the correct consent flags. Finally, you will suffer from conversion blind spots, undercounting results and underestimating your ROAS. This isn't just a legal hurdle. It is a fundamental performance problem. Consent Mode V2 is now the essential infrastructure for any professional measurement strategy. Implementing version 2 can be achieved through three distinct paths depending on your technical resources. The recommended route is CMP integration using a certified Google partner like OneTrust or CookieBot, which handles the integration automatically. For those requiring more control, the manual GTM approach involves setting GTag defaults to a denied state and mapping all four parameters within Tag Manager. Finally, the hard-coded GTag method is available for advanced users who wish to deploy parameters directly within their site's build. Regardless of the path, verification is vital. You must use Google Tag Assistant or GA4 diagnostics to ensure that all four parameters are firing correctly before you go live. To conclude, we present the data governance playbook. Think of Consent Mode V2 as the floor, the absolute minimum for compliance. You must implement it immediately and audit your EEA traffic. However, a full first-party data strategy is the ceiling. To recover and grow, you should enable enhanced conversions and shift toward data-driven attribution. Focus on building value exchanges to encourage user consent, such as offering exclusive content or discounts. Remember, consent is the new cookie. The advertisers who successfully build consent-native data strategies today are the ones who will own the market in the next decade. Thank you for your time and attention. If your advertising isn't delivering the results you expect, the problem may not be the budget, it may be the strategy. At Namster Marketing, we help businesses turn advertising into a predictable growth engine. Book a free consultation with our team, and let's explore how we can help scale your results.